Hello guys, I've got another video for you today. We are going to work on our RV air conditioning. Our air conditioning on Dash AC doesn't work very well. The coil, blows out about 47 is about the best temperature it'll do, no matter the temperature outside. And the coil tends to want to freeze up and cut off early. So what we're going to do, we're going to take some stuff apart, take a look and see if we got some air bypassing it. We also got some fresh air doors that need some work also. So we'll get some of this apart and take a look. Alright guys, we're going to start on our air conditioning. As you can see, the doors underneath are in bad shape and our coil is icing up, and then this switch cuts it off so it doesn't freeze up. So what we're going to do is take this box apart, take a look at it and fix the doors and see what's going on. Most of these parts are no longer available on this unit. Alright guys, this is the evaporator coil on my 2014 SunStar, and as you can see, it's pretty dirty. The air actually comes in on this side through the bottom, and then I'll see if I can show it to you, then up through the fan, up through there. From what I can tell, it just sits in there, and actually one of the reasons I think it doesn't do as good as it should, the coil doesn't seal up next to the fan. It actually pulls around the coil, and so when the coil gets dirty at all, you're not doing anything. You're just pulling all around the coil. And then down here is the box. Here's the door, and that's the guide, and that's where it bolts to the box. So I'm going to get that cleaned up, and we're going to look at that and see what we can do. Alright guys, so as you can see, here's the foam. It's kind of degraded, it's just gone. Air was getting around that, and this is the foam on the doors to the exterior, and as you can see, it's in bad shape too. So we're going to need to update some of this and clean it up, and we're going to need to clean that coil up, and that's what has a lot to do with your air conditioning not working so well. Alright, we're in the process of cleaning the coil, all the section for the coil, so the coil gets dirty towards this side or towards the outside of the evaporator. We're going to let that sit a few minutes and then rinse it off and do it again. Alright guys, here's the next thing. You can see where I've replaced all the foam around the evaporator. So we want to seal that up, make sure there's no air gets in there whatsoever. Alright guys, here's where I'm putting the coil back in, and as you can see, I got this against here, so new foam to seal that coil up, and then you can't hardly see it, but down in there I've got some foam around the bottom so that can't get around. And here's the door, and if I take it loose, that's how it operates off that thing. I'm going to put that back in, and then we'll put the next piece in. Alright guys, I'm sorry this is kind of goofy, but here's where I put all the new weather stripping on the plenum for the door. And you can see the water where it's black, that actually drains off the condenser. I'm going to put that in next. Okay guys, this is what it looks like. That's the door. It lets the air, this is the inside air, that pulls down, pulls to that. This is the coil. The outside air comes into this way, or into the other way, I'm sorry. This is the fan, sits right here. So the fan's drawing it. Now I've sealed around the coil. You can see where I put all this new foam where the other foam was bad. It seals tight on both sides. I'm going to seal this so we don't get air through there. This is the door that you can kind of see inside. And the door, I put some new pieces on there. The door closes like that. From this here, this is the drain. So I think we got it pretty well ready to go back. Okay guys, here is my, I've made a modification to the air intakes here for the outside air. I put this panel on and reduced the amount of air that comes through it, because in hot weather it has a hard time. So these can be removed, but the little door on the back closes, and I put new foam on that so that'll close. So we're about ready. Last thing I'm going to do is seal around this rubber boot right here, and then I'll put it in. We'll be ready. Okay, you can see where I've sealed around that boot to keep any air from coming in through. Might get a little bit, but that should be pretty good. All right, I'm gonna put it together. All right, we have finished our air conditioning repairs, and I can tell you that it was the case that the foam around the evaporator was bad, and air was going around, and the coil was dirty. And of course I made some modifications, if we can see them, up under the bottom here, where you're not getting quite as much air. I don't know if I can kind of get that where you can see it or not, but we made a smaller slot. I made it in the earlier video. So I did go ahead and replace the expansion valve while I had it, because I had it apart. And when you go to take that off, you need to take this bracket off right here. That bracket needs to come off so you can redo it. I also went ahead and put in a new accumulator and some oil. Took care of that, so we got all that squared away, and that has made a huge difference. Let's go inside and I'll show you. All right guys, so we've got the air running. It's a cool morning, so it's pretty easy for it to come down, but if I can zoom in on this without it being too blurry, it's about 39 degrees, 40 degrees, something like that. That's about a 10-degree improvement over what we had. So that made a big difference. So I think we really, we came out on that. There was a good fix. It's a lot of work. Now the compressor will cut off, but it will hold it down close to 40 degrees. You know, we had 47, 49, and that's dropped at about 10 more degrees. I think that works out pretty good, and the compressor is now not cycling like it was. So anyway, so if you have this is an Evans, if you have a Evans air conditioning, and if it's 10 years old like the one we have, you really pays to pull it apart, clean it, put new foam sealant in it around the coil, and you can make much better improvement on that. All right, let me know what you think. Leave any messages in the comments, and I'll return the information if you want it.